Hi guys, right then, today I'm going to make part 2. We're going to get this little DAF LF horsebox put back together. We'll get the brake discs on and the pads in and calipers back on and all that. So yep, today I've got my overalls on. It's first day of the year where I've had to put the overalls on. It was freezing this morning. I was up about 5 o'clock this morning. It was absolutely freezing. So yep, let's get this DAF put back together. Okay, so I've cleaned the stub axles up, greased them, and there's the new brake pads, 2 new discs. So let's get them unpackaged and we'll get them fitted. Okay, so that's the bag of bolts there, and they're all the new bolts for holding the calipers to the stub axle. Right then, let's get a disc on there. All the hub up so it drops on nicely. Just put these in. The sun's getting out now. I think I'm going to be too hot with the overalls on. I think I'm going to end up taking them off. You can't win. Right then, here we go. Right, so that's them all tightened. I'll get the hub put on, and then before it's all built up and finished, I'll check them with a brake bar, and then I'll put some white paint on. Then I know that that's done. I know that's tightened up. Okay, never rely on a gun. Okay, so we've got the bearings there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put some fresh bearing grease around that outer bearing. The inner one's still in, that one's good. So I'm just going to put some grease on that one. That. A bit in there on the cage. Get the hub, the disc. Lift that on. Good. Just keep that there. Bearing. Put that bearing in there. Washer. And the hub nut. I'll go get my hammer so I can tap the disc, and then we'll set that. Right then, here we go. So we're going to set the bearing. So this is how I do it. Just nip that nut up with your fingers. Like that, as tight as I can with my fingers. Give her a tap, make sure she settles in. That's good. That's as tight as I can get it with my fingers there. And you don't want any more than that. Get a new split pin. Like that. Don't be a tight arse and try and fit an old one back. always put a new split pin through. So what we need to do is find the hole where that would be. That's it there. So it's actually pretty good. So that's as tight as I can get my fingers. Split pin through the hole to lock that nut, and then we'll get the where are they? Side snippers. There we go. And then we'll just give that bend up there, get rid of the tap, nice and smooth, no play, and that bearing is set. You don't want to go any more than what I've given it there. As tight as you can with your fingers, and you'll have no bother. So what we'll do now is we'll get the outer bearing cap. See, it's dry there, that's no good. We'll put some bearing grease in there and then we'll tap that on. Okay, so that's the wheel bearing grease in the cap. You don't want any more than that. If you put too much, it'll end up hydraulicing when you put it on, and it'll be trying to push itself off. So yep, that's the perfect amount, so we'll get that cap on. So that's the cap on. So we'll brake cleaner the disc off there now, get rid of the preservative coating that's on it, and then we'll get the caliper on. Okay, I've just put some new brake cleaner in my gun. Put that up. And I'll just on. Little bit for luck. There we go, that's the brake disc, all cleaned off. So we'll get the caliper on there now. So that's 6 new bolts, that's 6 new mounting bolts for this side, 3 in here and 3 in here, and I will put a little bit of copper slip on each one so they don't seize in like the last ones did, and job will be a good one. So there's one of the bolts there. There we go, and just a bit of copper slip around that, put on all the rest of them, and we'll put them in, because putting them back dry, no good. Here we go, let's get the caliper on. Bolt in, back, get another bolt in the front. There we go. So, just buzz them up a bit, and then I'll not tighten them too tight, but I'll buzz them up and then we'll get the rest in. So that's one of the 3 bolts in the front, one of the 3 bolts in the back. So that's held, so I'll get the rest in there now. Give it a bit of a wiggle so I don't cross-thread them. You really don't want to be cross-threading one of them. Go. Get them all up. And lift those 3 front ones up. As usual, I will finally nip them up with the brake bar. So you can see that's the 3 in there, and that's the 3 in there. So that caliper is on there now, and you can see how it's sliding back and forward nice and free. So yeah, we'll nip them up with the bar now. Okay, so I've done the back 3. There's just the 3 bolts here. And they're tight, so that's all those caliper bolts, all tight. And there we go, there's the new fresh brake pad kit. So that's the first part to go in, that's the inner plate that I've all cleaned up, and that slot there drops in on that pip on the piston, so we'll get that put in first. So there you go, you can see the plate is dropped in, you can see the pistons located into the plate, so we'll get the pads in now. Okay. Okay, so that's the inner pad in. So I'm just going to get the outer pad, and that's her in. Simple as that. So now you can see the movement on there. We'll adjust that up, same way that we did before when we there we go, when we backed it off. So we'll just wind that back. You'll see the piston coming out there. Right, so that there is locked up there now. So what we'll do, we'll just get the ratchet and we'll back that off. There we go. It's probably backed off about 1 mil there, I would say. Yep, so you see how that's running free? So we'll just nip that up just a little bit. You see the gap between the pad and the disc there? There we go. And that's absolutely perfect. Take any more than that and you'll end up probably with it getting hot and giving you bother. So yep, that's spot on. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll get the retaining kit put in now. So that's the kit there, and for each side you get a new bung for the adjuster on the caliper, a new retaining bolt, the prong, and 3 plates. So the plates just go on like that. Like that, and then we'll just get the prong which sticks across there, and before we put all that together though, we need to put the sensor in. So that's it, that's the sensors there, one for either side. Right then, so that's the sensor there, and you can see I've plugged it into the pad there, and we'll get it all built up there now. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put this one in. This one clicks into this pad as well. Okay, so as usual, we'll just put a bit of copper slip on that retaining bolt there. Put that in there, and then we'll nip that one up. Okay, with a 17mm socket. We'll tighten that. And there we go. Job's a good one. So the next job is to get the chamber bolted back through these two bolts here. We'll get the bung in the back, and we can plug the sensor back in. Alright, as usual, bit of copper slip around those studs, bit on the end of the piston. Put that back on now. Okay, so we'll put the two spring washers on first. And then the two nuts that hold the chamber. And then we'll just nip them up. Check with the bar though, and then when you've nipped them up, always spin it like that, because sometimes if you do get it a little bit tight when you adjust it, when you bolt that chamber up, it'll nip the brake on because the chamber's pressing against the pads. So if it does that, you've got to take the chamber back off and just knock the adjustment back a little bit. But that's perfect. So as usual, we'll get the brake bar on and we'll check these two nuts because you don't rely on a gun. And yeah, that's that bit done. All we've got to do is plug the sensor wiring in. Okay, so that's it all done. That's the wiring kept nice and tight. You don't want that sticking up, otherwise it'll end up chafing through on the wheel rim and bringing a wear sensor fault on. It's cable tied with two cable ties to this peg, which keeps it nice and neat. One of them which I've put over the clasp so it can't come undone. Just the way I do it. So, yep, that side is all done. So I'll get the other side put together and make another video, but not of the whole thing because it's just a repeat process of this side. So before I do start doing the other side, I forgot to show you, I'm just going round with a bar. I've got the hub locked with the crowbar, and I'm just going to go around, nip all those disc bolts. Once they're all tight, I'll mark them, and then we know they're done. There's so many people leave those slack. It's unbelievable. Okay, these bolts are all tight there now, so all I do is I just mark them. And there we go, and I know that they've been tightened up. So yeah, that side's all done. When I see those marks before I put the wheel on, I know that it's all tight and good. If I don't see those marks, I know that I've forgotten. Whew, it's absolutely scorching again. I've got extra t-shirts on and my overalls, so yeah, I'm gonna have to take my overalls off and probably a t-shirt, so I'm gonna have to strip off. It's too hot. Whew, that's better. Stripped off. So yeah, I was up at 5 o'clock this morning on a breakdown and it was absolutely freezing. I could have done with my woolly hat on, but I didn't have it. So yeah, anyway, let's crack on and get the driver's side done. Right then guys, that's the offside. Disc all bolted on, hub is on, set. So yeah, caliper on next. Beautiful, beautiful. All right then. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. That's better. Hey. Right, we'll nip them up. Okay. So guys, if you remember on the first video, this brake pad retaining bolt that holds the plate and the prong in, I had to warm the caliper up to get the bolt out with sea solid. Well, the new one, the new bolt, is struggling to go in there, so I'm just running a tap in there to clean up those threads, and then we can get that back in, because we don't want to have an issue with that bolt. When you get a look at the new bolts, so yeah, if you get a look at the new bolt, it's shouldered, and we can see that there's a shoulder on that bolt. So that bolt has to go right up to that shoulder there. If it doesn't go up to the shoulder, it's no good. So I'm running a tap through, get that nice, it's a bit tight there. Yep, so we'll clean that up and get the bolt in. When I'm winding that out there now, you can see all that crap that's coming out there. See all that debris that's come out. So that's good there now. Yeah, you see all that there? Right, let's get the bolt in. So there you go. As you can see, I can get that with my fingers now. That was feeling like it was going to snap off before. So that's good. We'll nip that up. Except I'll have to take it back out because I forgot to put this this retaining plate on first. Ah, bollocks. Right, here we go. Ah, yeah. So there's my new wiring there. Someone has discontinued it here. So I'm going to see if I can find the wires, and I'll have to rejoin it. Yeah, there's one wire there, and then there's another snap one right further up. So I'll try and pull it through a bit more, and then we'll repair that. Okay, so I've cut the cable tie on the back of the chassis, on the inside of the chassis there, and there you can see the two broken wires for the wear sensor. So yeah, it's been pinched there, I think. So what I'll do, it's tempting just to chop it off and join it and put it back in there, but I've got a new sensor on there. The customer's paid for all that, so if she did have one pad, she wouldn't know. So I'm gonna extend the wiring, repair it, and then we'll just join it back up to this. We'll cut this connector off and then we'll just rejoin it up. Okay, so what I've got some twin core cable. I've got a piece of braiding that I've cut from out the van. So let's repair this sensor. So that's it. Twin core joined to the old wiring with some connectors there, and I've heated them to seal them. I've now got some shrink wrap that I put up here. I'll pull that down, heat shrink it, and then we can put the conduit over. Right, that's the heat shrink pulled over. Just seal that up with a heat gun. You can see that shrinking up there. That's adhesive line, that stuff. So Yeah, good stuff that. Okay, so that is all joined and heat shrinked, so we can put the conduit up over the top now. Okay, we're joined at this end now. Got another bit of heat shrink, so we can join all that back up and get the cable tied up. Right then guys, that's that sensor all joined back up. Bit of conduit in the middle there, protect it. All cable tied out the way. So yeah, nice and neat. Like my dad said, if there's a job worth doing, it's worth doing right. So yeah, that's that all done. Okay, so you know what the last job is, don't you? Yep. Turn the steering, lock the hub, and nip up these bolts and mark them, and then we're done. Right, that's it, all done. Disc bolts all tightened, marked, checked all the sensor bolt, wiring's all done, nice and neat. So yeah, that is the job, all done. Just got to put the wheels on now, and that's it. Right then guys, that's part 2 all done. Discs and pads all fitted to 07 plate DAF LF. So as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again with another Ken's Jobs.